Hey guys, it's Mr. Stark over here at Porter & Chester Institute in Waterbury. I wanted to give our PAC members an idea of what we teach our students here in the electrical program during their lab time. Aside from the core curriculum labs, we also have all kinds of other labs to keep these guys fully engaged and active so that they can get out there and be the best apprentices for you guys. Let's take a look. So, as you can tell, we put an extensive amount of time into conduit bending throughout the course of the year. This is just one of many different conduit displays, and I know you guys are looking for guys that can kind of hit the ground running, take a 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch, 1.25 inch bender, and bend away and have a good time doing it and be efficient and make it look good. So here's part of some of the stuff that we do here. Once again, this particular project had a variety of different students on it, and we practice different transitions and all the different bends that you'd have in the field. So kind of cool. We also teach how to install electrical services. That should be done. Obviously, this is just an example of a cable, 200 amp cable, 200 amp conduit, and just a simulated lab, if you will. Weatherhead, drip loop, all that stuff. And then we come on the other side and we have the inside of the panel, what it might look like inside, or a wired panel, nice and neatly done. If you come over here, we have our residential space, and we teach these guys how to do all kinds of residential circuits. You name it, they can do it. We also teach them how to wire transfer switches, how to dress up panels really nice from beginning to end. There's really nothing that we don't teach them here. If we come around here, we have a residential space where these guys could mock up a whole house to code. Obviously is pretty much, the most important thing is wiring it correctly, and to speed. So our attention to detail and speed for these students is huge because we don't want them being too slow, but we want them being precise, everything being neat and perfect. If we keep coming around, let's go into our other lab. We come in here and we teach these guys telecommunications, obviously how to tie in a patch panel correctly and neatly. So there's a pretty good example of that. Here's another example of a patch panel, and obviously the work area outlets that are done in the field where they plug into are done just as neat, if not better, than most guys that do this every day in the field. Come around here, we've got fire alarm panels. Obviously they learn that. We've got more conduit bending down below. Another group of guys are working on this new transition. We also teach these guys extensive motor controls and anything having to do with relay logic, which you can kind of see here is a simulated circuit of a traffic light. We integrated a PLC that can run the same circuit as the relays, and we stand back and we've got a fun little project. So not only do we teach these guys really, really good advanced skills, we also teach them how to be creative and mechanically inclined, and how to take something and hack it up and break it and cut it and butcher it and put it all back together. And a lot of what we do in electrical is kind of fabricating and taking things out of a box, reading instructions, and installing it correctly. So a lot of these guys that come out of my program have that niche for being able to take something and make it work. So once again, we stand back in this area. This is our commercial space. So not only do we teach them residential wiring, we can see we've got metal studs here, we've got plenty of them. We teach them how to run MC cable neatly and perfectly with the same circuits, single pole switches, 3-ways, 4-ways, any kind of switching circuit you could possibly imagine. These guys are really good at it. We've got more and more conduit projects. Let me take a scan back at the motor control wall. So what you see here is below those tables there's 3-phase motors. So these guys are familiar with 3-phase, and we have disconnects with handoff auto switches on them. And inside those 12 by 12 boxes we have our PLCs. So if you take a look at this as an example, we could simulate any kind of circuit and really create a sequence of operations, program it into a laptop, transfer that program into this PLC, and then have the PLC run all the outputs. So these guys are real familiar with inputs and outputs, and it all stems from the basics of motor controls. So we have plenty of projects. I've actually built the program myself. It's very advanced, so they can take it as far as they want to take it. And then if you kind of come here for a PAC meeting, you'll see some of these projects these guys made in their spare time, more creativity, just some fun stuff. I've got a wiring circuit here with some PLCs that a brand new student did. You can see the wiring is done real neatly. These two PLCs right here actually control this cube that's up in the hanging in the ceiling. And it's just sequencing through the different lights and the tools that we use in the trade, just to kind of show off a little bit. And then last but not least, because I know the video needs to be short and sweet, we even made a basketball hoop with a limit switch, which most electricians know what limit switches are. A basketball goes through it, sets the limit switch off. These two off-delay relays with a fire alarm horn and some lights go off when the basketball goes through. It's a pretty neat little display. So when your students come here, obviously when they graduate, they're going to have the needed skills not only to be an apprentice for you and know all the pieces and parts, they're going to be the apprentice that you want to keep and you're going to want to hold on to from job to job. I only graduate the best guys, so if you're looking for somebody from Waterbury, this would be the place. I'm Mr. Stark and I'm signing off, and I'm looking forward to you if you come to a PAC meeting. Thank you.